FM 89.9, good morning. Welcome to this morning headlines on the second day of 2014. I'm Nadia Hassan, standing in for Sharak Kutan while he goes and breeds goats in the hills. Oh, that's what he tells me through WhatsApp. So the first agenda today is basically the New Year's protest. I don't know if any of you were there, but depending on which newspaper you listen to, it was either a massive bust or a good step forward for mankind, or at least those in Malaysia. So if you read the Star actually has a slightly softer view on it. It tells to console you and say that there baby, it's all okay, we'll be fine. We will basically help to ride this out. And they're talking about the increases in cost of living that we'll see, basically toll and gas. So what they do is they actually talk to an economist who says that based on his calculations, if you're a family of 4 earning between 7 to 10,000, you can actually live pretty okay, and that's with a mortgage, 2 cars and childcare expenses, but he says that you have to be disciplined and tighten your belts. Of course, in model it's one thing, in reality it's another, and I think a lot of people will probably argue that that's still a bit too tight and it's going to get even harder. If you listen to Utosan about the rally we were speaking about, they will say it failed. Big gagal, and it just didn't bring enough traction. But if you talk to NST on the other hand will say that they were just big spoil sports. They ruined the celebrations for absolutely everybody. For the first time they didn't have fireworks, they didn't have a countdown because all these protesters were like overrunning barriers. There's even a couple cute pictures inside of them taking selfies, if that's what you're so inclined to do. And according to the story, the protesters wanted to take over the concert stage. The concert had to be delayed 30 minutes. A lot of the musicians had to pull out because they wanted to protect their instruments. So that's the tone that NST takes. But going back a bit to the Utosan, they actually had another interesting piece where basically they talk about Chief Minister of Penang, Lim Guan Eng, and criticizing him for upgrading his car to a Benz. And they said it was unnecessary in the face of the suffering rakyat, and it was just basically a slap in the face. It's an upgrade from his previous Toyota Camry. Some will say they're splitting hairs in the face of the massive corruption that you sometimes see that they allege takes place in the government. But hey, whatever you think will sell your papers. Interestingly enough, the paper that takes a bit more of a balanced approach to everything is the Malay Mail. So the Malay Mail actually does, if you look inside, talks to revelers versus protesters. So they have both sides of it. Some people actually said, they ruined our enjoyment. We just went there for countdown. And the protesters said it was necessary because, it's our voice to be heard. So it depends on which side of the fence you sit on. But the funny thing is the KL mayor actually had to come out and say, calm down. It's a New Year's gathering. And, he said they actually ruined the experience for a lot of people. Now, keep in mind that we have been saying that for the past couple of weeks, the Islamic board has come out and said that celebrating New Year's Eve is actually something of a Jewish holiday. So, draw your own conclusions there. If you read the other Malay papers, basically Sinar Harian, they say they have a similar tone. There's a hidden agenda. They're obviously trying to sort of overthrow the government, which is what the New Straits Times political correspondent also said in an op-ed column. Berita Harian also comes out and says, that basically it's an even stronger word, benda harka, so even stronger way of calling them. And they were saying that they actually found knives and what they call Rambo knives at the scene, hidden umbrellas near the tree in Complex Daya Bumi. So it depends on which side. But on the positive side, going back to the Malay Mail, there's this one boy, if you look down, there's this one boy. Every year for 6 years, he's been cleaning up KL after the New Year's celebrations, and this year was no different. So yeah, a nice little goodwill to start the holiday, very, very, very reassuring. The other piece of news to warm your cockles today, if you're tired of New Year's rally that was or wasn't, is basically the first day of school. And they talk about this girl who is disabled, and yet, she still makes it to school. She can only write with one foot, and yet she's still determined. So something to make you a bit happier for today. And ending, as I like to always, with Harian Metro's great headlines. Don't forget the one about the rich widow whose in-laws were threatening her. Today we have Cinta Hapa, and that's the word of the day for today, which is Hapa. And basically it means smells bad or is just bad in general. It can be in slang terms, but in this case it actually means smells bad, because this girl, Aini, her boyfriend or partner or whatever, actually beyond just not liking her wearing makeup and wearing perfume, actually wants her not to bathe for a few days, so that she will not be appealing and be picked up by men. However, if there are men out there who is into that thing, then his plan has completely and totally failed. But anyways, that's a nice way to end the morning headlines. Have a good start to 2014 and join us again for BFM 89.9.